Welcome to SSPTV Community News. I'm Lisa Sugart. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to walk in the shoes of law enforcement? Well, a local Citizens Police Academy is allowing its participants to do just that. What percentage of incidents responded to by police actually involve use of force? The number may surprise you. That was one of the topics covered here at Penn State's Hazleton campus as part of a free Citizens Police Academy hosted by the Pennsylvania State Police at Troop N. I'm joined now by Trooper Anthony Petrosky, who is a community service officer and public information officer at Troop N in Hazleton. Trooper Petrosky, tell us the purpose behind this Citizens Police Academy.
Citizens Police Academy is a free community-based program where citizens, not police officers, learn from the Pennsylvania State Police. There's 10 weeks, 2 hours each night, and each night there's different presenters that come and talk about. So they've heard from forensics, they've heard from our K-9 unit, they've heard from our CERT unit. Tonight they're hearing from our use of force unit.
So now what exactly is the use of force unit?
So they are specialists in the field of use of force within the Pennsylvania State Police, and what they do is they come here and they talk to all of our classmates about why we do some of the things that we do, why we use some of the tools that we have on our belt, the taser, the pepper spray, the baton, the weapon. Why do we do it? Why in certain situations will we use it, and why wouldn't we use it? They really go over in a good way to explain to someone who's not a police officer why we do some of the things that we do.
Does this come at a perfect time when, oftentimes the police and video are in the news these days and you're wondering, what did the officer decide to do that for? Does this help us to better understand that?
It absolutely does. And honestly, I think use of force is always a hot topic in the conversation of police officers. And this is a great way for people to understand, to really understand, hey, they have split seconds to make a decision that could cost somebody a life, maybe even their own. So they put a lot of students in situations. They say, what would you do? They give them scenarios. It's a fun and good way to learn and really get in the brains of police officers.
What's been the reaction from some of the participants in this? This is a free academy.
It is. A lot of the participants didn't realize how many entities we had in the Pennsylvania State Police. See, the general public sees us out on the road, pulling people over, writing tickets. So they have this misconception that that's all we do. We do a lot more than that. We have a lot of specialized positions, and we don't just write tickets. That is an important part to keep the roads safe, but we do a lot more than that.
Why did the state police want to do this academy, and has it been everything you hoped it would be?
Yeah, this is a great program. I started this in 2017, and we only missed out on 2 years because of COVID. So I run it consecutively. It's a great program for people to learn, whether you want to be a police officer or you just want to learn about it. You like cop shows and you want to hear from us. It's a great way to learn, and it's a great way for us to interact with the citizens that we serve every day.
I'm pleased to be joined now by Sergeant Alan Zulik, Use of Force Unit Supervisor. Great presentation here tonight. First of all, for our viewers, what exactly are you talking about when you say use of force? We hear a lot about it in the media these days.
Well, we're trying to take a look and try to communicate with the citizens here that are interested in police use of force, and just trying to understand how to look at the lawfulness of a police officer's use of force and to how the courts would look and judge that. And then we'll get into some of the ideas of decision making and human performance and cover some of the things that our unit is involved in with the Pennsylvania State Police.
Now, the one thing you stressed was that they should learn about objective reasonableness. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so if you look at Graham versus Connor, it's a pivotal case decided by the U.S. Supreme Court back in the 1980s, but it really lays the foundation for how courts would look at a police officer's use of force. And objective reasonableness, just like they would look at for a search and seizure under a Fourth Amendment argument, they'll look and say, do the facts support the use of force by the police against a citizen? Do they have lawful authority to do that?
What do you hope that the people taking part in this go away with tonight?
I hope that they just came in here with some questions that we were able to answer, that they have a better understanding of how the courts look at use of force, how much work goes in to having a professional police department, and how those decisions, how much work goes into preparing police officers to make objectively reasonable decisions in really time-compressed situations. And if they understand that, I think that that's a success. What percentage of police calls for service result in an application of force by the involved police officers? And when we talk about that use of force, I don't mean showing up and giving somebody verbal commands. I'm not talking about putting handcuffs on somebody that's under arrest. What I'm talking about is some level of force where they're either punching, kicking, pepper spray, baton strike, taser.
You started off with a stat that I found was truly amazing. You wanted to know what percentage of crimes actually involved use of force. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we are citing research from Dr. Bozeman. Dr. Bozeman conducted field research with, I believe, 3 police departments and found that less than 0.1% of police incidents resulted in a use of force by police. And that's something that if you would just talk to the basic police officer on the street, most of them would probably echo that in their career, that the idea of using force is very rare by police, and that in general we get really good cooperation from the people that we deal with on a daily basis. So that's something that we feel too. Yeah.
But do you think, because we see it on the media, on the news, different ways, do you think people see it from a different perspective?
I think that most of the time when we conduct these presentations around the Commonwealth, I will say that many people are surprised at how low that number is.
Rocco Sharon is one of the participants in this Citizens Academy. Tonight they're focusing on use of force. We hear a lot about that in the media. Is it what you thought it would be when you came here tonight?
I believe it is, yes. I mean, it's mostly common sense, but I mean, they do have rules to follow. But yeah, I think that they have the right to do it.
When you hear about a crime in the future after going through this academy, will you see things in a different light?
Yes, I will. I will.
From the officer's perspective?
The officer's perspective, because you got a split-second decision, and that's kind of hard to do, as you know.
Has anyone who's participated actually decided to go into law enforcement because of what they saw here?
A few of them, and there's a trooper at the Hazleton Barracks who went through my very first Citizens Police Academy here in 2017. So it's really neat to see.
And will you be doing this again then soon?
Next year, absolutely, right here at Penn State.
Coming up, there are lots of Christmas celebrations taking place in our area. We'll preview some. And also today's social report.